Sorry, anyone hear me here? Excuse me? Somebody else in here, hear me, please? I would like to ask something. Maybe the committee, please. Anyone else? Anyone help me, please? Nobody want?
On behalf of the 10 ICMR in conjunction the second InSyiah of 2021 committee, I welcome our invited speaker, Mr. Muhammad Nasir Badu, PhD from Hasanuddin University, Indonesia, and all of the participants of room 2. Please give it up for Mr. Badu. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Muhammad Nasir Badu, PhD. He is a very well-known figure in Makassar, actually. So his education background is, he is graduated from National University of Malaysia, PhD of International Relations and Human Security on 2013. He is also graduated from Gajah Mada University, Yogyakarta, Indonesia, majoring in Master of Arts in International Relations in 2003. He has also a bachelor degree of International Relations on Hasanuddin University, Makassar, Indonesia. He has working experience as the Secretary of International Office of Hasanuddin University 2009 up to 2014. He is also a head of International Affairs of Faculty of Social and Political Science, Hasanuddin University 2015 up to 2017. Chief of Editor of the Politics Journal and Critics Journal, Faculty of Social and Political Science, Hasanuddin University. He is also a lecturer and researcher at International Relations and Political Science Department, Faculty of Social and Political, Hasanuddin University, Makassar, Indonesia, September 1999 up to now. He is also a head of Center for Human Security and Transnational Crime Studies, International Relations Department, Faculty of Social and Political Science, Hasanuddin University from 2015 up to now. Head of International Office of West Sulawesi University 2013 up to now, and also founder of International Maritime Youth Program IMYP 2015, founder of Sekolah Budaya Rakyat Mandar 2017, and for the last is Secretary of Research Center of Sulawesi Barat University 2020 up to now. I think that's all that I can tell. Probably Mr. Muhammad Nasir Badu could elaborate more. Thank you. That's all for me. Please in time for Muhammad Nasir Badu. I think that's all for me, Pak Muhammad Nasir Badu.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, this is my turn, right?
Very, very correct. This is your turn.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and then good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, moderator, for the opportunity to give me this afternoon to present my presentation about the people smuggling to Australia and overview of maritime transnational crime. Before continuing that, so maybe the moderator can help me to share my PowerPoint. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, so this is my title, People Smuggling to Australia, an Overview of Maritime Transnational Crime. So next, yes, this is the background. Why I chose people smuggling as an issue in my presentation this afternoon, because we understand today that flow of the people and goods across national border is increasing as a consequence or impact of globalization. So a lot of people, migrate from one country to another country with a lot of reasons, So, for example, from Indonesia to Malaysia, because of the economic factors, from what's that? From this Africa, go to Europe, to America. So from South Asia to Southeast Asia. So and then go to the Australia. So I think it's easy now, the people to go to another country because of transportation as easy. For example, they can use land, maybe road, and then other by land maybe. So because of that, the impact of globalization. So a lot of people, across the national border. The second one is because there is a synergy between the opportunities for transnational crime to form the types of transnational crime. Because of the globalization, of course, a lot of people, use this as opportunity to hold the transnational crime, I think. So that's why types of transnational crimes, arise. This is not only, for example, what's that? This is the drugs, for example. It's not only about, the weapon, what's that? For example, illegal logging, so maybe the fishing, logging, etc. But this is also, people smuggling, the people smuggling. And then this is the phenomenon that we now, today, and then I think Indonesia faces this problem because approximately 20,000 people right now in Indonesia. And then some of them, of the people who come to Indonesia, they have a high risk, to be or maybe involved in the people smuggling cases. So can continue. The next. Okay, people smuggling has become an interesting phenomenon in transnational crime because it's trending and taking time. And then, of course, we're talking about the people smuggling. We involve three main components. Namely, is the country of origin where the people come. For example, maybe from South Asia, from the Central Asia, from the Africa, from the Southeast Asia, for example, from Rohingya and others, and then move to another country. We call it the transit, such as Indonesia, maybe Malaysia, and then others. And then last one is destination country, for example, like the Malaysia, European countries, as well as as well as the USA. Those things, this is the most destination, I think, where the people, this is asylum seeker and then refugees, I think, going to those countries. The transit and destination country. So in here, Indonesia is one of the countries where the people smuggling activities tend to increase. It's very modus operandi. So that's I have mentioned that right now in Indonesia, 20,000 people from around the world, particularly from the developing countries, come to Indonesia because they want to go to the Australia, and then Indonesia is a transit country now. But the few cases, Indonesia not only transit country, but now is a destination country, destination country, not only transit country now, but this destination country. So for example, from the African country, they want to stay in here. They want to be Indonesian, citizen. They want to be Indonesian citizen right now. So this is I think this is problem will be faced by Indonesia today, because of not anymore as a transit country, but of course Indonesia is a destination country now. So besides, a lot of people, of course, from those countries that I have mentioned, want to go to Australia by Indonesia, because a lot of reasons why Indonesia is the easy country, and then what's that? Is the easy country to transit, because a lot of Indonesia, Indonesia has a lot of weeks, I think, a lot of weeks. So I will explain to you later about the weeks of the Indonesia face today. So next. So we move to what's that transnational crime according to United Nations Palermo Convention 2000. Transnational crime is a structured group of 3 or more persons, existing for a period of time and acting in concert with the aim of committing one or more serious crimes or offenses established in order to obtain directly or indirectly a financial or other material benefit. So this is the transnational crime, and then people smuggling is a part of transnational crime, because according United Nations also, there are 18 kinds of the transnational crime. So one of them is the people smuggling. So next. So what's that people smuggling? People smuggling is an act that aims to seek profit, either directly or indirectly, for oneself or more another person, who brings a person or group of people, either organized or unorganized, or orders another person to bring a person or group of people, either organized or unorganized, who does not have the right to legally enter the territory or leave the territory of other countries, and or enter the territory of another country for which the person does not have the right to enter the territory legally, either by using a valid document or fake document, or without using a travel document, whether through immigration checks or not. So this is, we call it the people smuggling. So in a simple, what's that? In conclusion, that I talked to you that people smuggling is illegally, illegally to enter, territory or leave the territory of other countries or maybe another country. So this is using a valid document or fake document. So we just call it what's the people smuggling. Actually, for this case, the people, the people actually, this is the victim of people smuggling. They are the victim actually of the people smuggling, even though they want to go to the Australia, but this is case according to the United Nations, the people actually is not the smuggler, is not the someone is in charge of the law of this is the what's that is the law, but the people actually is a victim. And then if you want to what's that in charge of the people actually in related to the law is the smuggler, the smuggler, but not from the people that want to go to the Australia. They only the victim actually. Yeah. So I think this is interesting. This is interesting. Even though they don't have a document, or maybe they only have a fake document, or maybe they entered to the territory without the document, but the people who do that, they only the victim. And the someone who maybe it can in charge of the law is we call it the smuggler, is from the international syndicate. It's from its syndicate, the international syndicate, or maybe from the local syndicate, or maybe the local agent, or maybe the agent. So so I mean, which one, which one we call it the smuggler? I can continue the next. I will explain to you later. Please, next the PPT, the next. In many cases, people smuggling actually pass from the youth to become illegal immigrants. That's I mentioned to you. Many cases, people smuggling actually pass. Sorry, we can back. In many cases, people smuggling actually pass from the youth to become illegal immigrants. Therefore, the causes that led to the occurrence of illegal immigrants can also be the cases of the cases of the emergence of human smuggling. Many people smuggling practices are caused by the immigrants who are seduced by smuggler. This is I talked to you before. Many people smuggling practices are caused by the immigrants who are seduced by the smuggler. So that's why the people the people, we call it the someone who is the people, actually we call it that they are refugees, or maybe the asylum seeker. We don't call them as a smuggler, they call it as a smuggler, but they are the victims actually. In addition, external factors originating from the destination country are also the main reason for illegal immigrants to move from the other country of origin, including the prolonged conflict and the stable economic system of the destination country. So this is the reason why they leave the country. So immigrants have the understanding that their destination country will be better. Yeah. So that's why economically, actually, why they leave the country, because of looking for to make the life is better. So for example, this is the economically, I think, reasons where they will go get a job with a decent wage. In destination countries, business actors are happy to welcome and take advantage of the service of illegal workers because the wages are much lower than domestic workers. I think in Malaysia we can find such things, a lot of in Malaysia illegal, from Indonesia. I mean, not only from Indonesia, but from the Southeast Asia countries, and other Southeast Asia countries. I think from Philippines, or maybe from the Vietnam, from the Thailand as well. So I think we can find that. So, next, Indonesia is transit country for people smuggling crime. For some cases, I think Indonesia is transit country that I mentioned before, But right now, Indonesia is not only transit country, but Indonesia is a destination. The destination country. Indonesia is a destination country. Some of them, of course, want to stay in Indonesia. I don't know exactly what's happening, why they want to be in Indonesia. Maybe because of the Indonesian people is a warm, friendly, maybe, and then they welcome. And I'm not sure. Or maybe some of them, the cases maybe because of the Australia and then European country and other also reject them, reject them because of some of the reason. So they don't want to also back to their origin country. I don't know why. Maybe because of the situation, maybe because the current situation in the home country, maybe there's something problem there. So that's why they reject. So they want to continue to go to the Australia. And then if they have a money, so of course they use the smuggler, to look for the smuggler to help them, to bring the people going to Australia. But problem is they have to pay a lot of money. For example, one people maybe in just approximately 100 millions. I think the 100 million rupees, 100 million rupees. I think yes. I think approximately 80 to 100 million. I think they have to pay for the smuggler. They have to pay for the smuggler, so they're going to go to the they're going to the Australia. But the problem is, it's not guarantee. They will receive by the Australian government. Some of them, of course, they cut by the Australian government and back to their origin country. So some kind of that, we can find some of the cases. I think. So Indonesia is a transit country for the people smuggling crime. Of course, this is the big problem of Indonesia because a lot of people will be here. Yeah, a lot of people will be here. Indonesia is not one of the countries who signed the United Nations declaration related to the how to protect the people smuggling. Or sorry, how to protect the refugees. Indonesia is not of the country who signed this is the declaration. Malaysia and then Australia, for example, is a part of that. So that's why if there is a people or there is a person from this country, I call it the origin country, want to stay in Malaysia and maybe Australia, Malaysia and then Australia must give them, what's that responsibility, for handle everything what they want. So, but Indonesia doesn't have a responsibility to to give the people, this is part of the refugees to protect the refugees or maybe the asylum seeker. Indonesia doesn't have a responsibility for that. But of course, we are part of the international international community. Indonesia, of course, have a responsibility for that. And then 20,000 people right now in Indonesia from from developing countries stay in Indonesia as refugees and asylum seeker, and then they want to continue to continue to be continue to Australia, they journey, as a citizen of Australia, and then maybe some of them to America and then Europe. They stay in Indonesia for temporary time. So in here waiting for the UNHCR, HCR. So they waiting for the decision that those people maybe put it in Australia, also maybe in another. But this is depend on the destination country. If the destination country receive those people, of course they have to go to this country. But if if destination country reject it, this is the problem actually for the transit country like Indonesia. I think we have to protect them. We have to give them the rights. We have to make a lot of programs for cover. That means Indonesia have to pay they have to pay a lot of this program actually. So of course this is Indonesia burden in for that, And then some of the people, those refugees, of course, they don't want to stay in Indonesia for a long time. But another problem is they have to get permission from the UNHCR, for that. So sometimes they don't want to stay in here for a long time. That means they have to look for someone who can bring them to Australia. So this is, I think, the people smuggling rise because of that. This is the transnational crime rise because of that. This is, I think, a problem with faced by Indonesia and then maybe the Malaysia. Australia. We can continue to link the routing of the people smuggling to Australia. Next PowerPoint. Yeah, this is the this is the map. This is the map. Look at that. The blue one, the blue line. This is the by plane, from Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, from Pakistan, from India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, from the Sri Lanka. They go to all of them. Of course, they want to go to the Australia. The people, they want to go to the Australia. That I mentioned to you before that Malaysia and Australia is two countries that already signed of the declaration of the refugees, to protect the refugees. Actually, why they come to those countries, but Indonesia is not yet until today. So this is by plane, and look at the red color by both, and the last one is by the land actually. So a lot of people, by both. So that's why my title today is people smuggling to Australia and then by the boat. Of course, the boat. This is happened to maritime transnational crime. Look at that. For example, from the Sri Lanka, from Sri Lanka, the people from there, want to go to the Christmas Island, but before they have to transit in Sumatra, close to the Sumatra. Maybe India, there's a Nias Island. I think that this is not Nias Island, and then going to the Christmas Island, and then maybe by plane from Sri Lanka to Malaysia, and from Kuala Lumpur, and then after that by plane going to the North Sumatra, I think. Okay, and then from the Sumatra going to the Sumatra, and then from the Sumatra maybe by land, and then in Lampung maybe, and then going to the Christmas Islands, or maybe can also from the Sumatra, from the North Sumatra going to the Java, and then from Java going to the Christmas Islands. This is for example. And then someone here from Myanmar, by the land from the Myanmar going, I think go to the Thailand, and then from the Thailand going to the Malaysia, and then from the Malaysia, maybe they stay in here from Myanmar. They stay in Myanmar from Malaysia, or maybe from Malaysia going to the Sumatra, and then next going to the Christmas Island. But the last destination is Australia. So this is also from Vietnam. This is from Vietnam. From Vietnam going to the maybe in here in Batam. I think this is the Batam, or maybe I think this is close to the Batam. I think this is Batam. Oh no, this is the Lampung, or maybe this is Lampung, and then after that going to the Christmas Island. And then two destinations of the Australia where the asylum seeker and refugees want to go to is the Christmas Island and the Ashmore Reef. The Christmas Island and the Ashmore Reef. And then from here, the Australian government process them. If the Australian government...
Pardon, Mr. Badu, your time is less than 5 minutes. Please move forward. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me. Thank you very much. So yes, if Australian government, agree to process those people, of course, they will be Australian citizens. But if not, so of course they have to back to the origin country, So or maybe the smuggler will bring them back to Indonesia. This is the big problem of Indonesia, actually. So the next PPT, please. Next PPT, please. Networking of smuggler. Actually, this is networking of smuggler. By the boat. From the agent of international, we call it the international syndicate, and using the local agent. For example, the immigration office staff, or maybe the police, or maybe the army, and then fishermen also, and then the local agent, of course, have a lot of agent as well. The syndicate of the international, actually, if you're talking about the benefit will they get, I think it's the billion. I think the billion of this is what's that? This is the crime. I think a lot of money, of course, they get. So a lot of people actually involved in. So, but unfortunately, the refugees and then the asylum seeker, of course, don't get interest in law. Yeah, this is the problem actually. Okay, the last one. This is the driving factors that make Indonesia a spot offer for people smuggling actually. This international factor and external factor. For example, in internal factors, of course, strengthening the law of the cap width of the people smuggling is weak in Indonesia. Indonesia is the huge geographically, so of course we have a lot of weak also because we couldn't control, the Indonesia island. So this is, I think, the easy for smuggler to come in and then use that for the operation. I think the easy. I think this is the thing that I have talked to you. This is the time of our my presentation. Thank you very much.
And next, maybe we will hold a little bit of question and answer session. Maybe we only take 2 questions to save the time. For the participant who will give the question, will chat or maybe raise your hand. Thank you.
May I have a question? Yes.
Please, Mr. Wempi.
Okay. Thank you. I just wondering, want to know, Pak Badu, that you said that Indonesia is a transit country for smuggler. I want to know what other countries that visit, for example, Australia, and it is use Indonesia as a transit. Is it Afghanistan, or do you have information about what countries that use Indonesia as a transit country?
Okay, a lot of countries, you know, when the refugees and then asylum seeker come from, you know, this is not only from Afghanistan, but from from the Center Asia, for example, from the Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, from Myanmar. This is particular is Rohingya people. Also, and from Africa, a lot of people also from Africa. For example, in Makassar, there are actually more than 15 countries. You know, when the refugees and then refugees and then asylum seeker come from. You know, approximately in Makassar today is there are 10,000 people. You know, from this country that I mentioned. They stay there for 3 or 5 years, and then some of them, of course, already success to go to the destination country, but some of them still stay in Makassar. I don't know what's happened with them, but according I got it from the UNHCR. So you know, a lot of problems of the people why the Australian government reject them to be the Australian citizenship. So that's why my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Badu.
The next one, I will have another question. If there is no other question, I would like to fast forward to another presentation, and will be presenting by Mr. Badu. So Mr. Badu, please present another presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Please present another participant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for moderator. So now it's turn as a moderator to handle this is the session. So we have now 8 presenter. The first one is Desi Novita, is from the University Islam Sumatra Utara. The second one is I'm actually from the IPB University, Rani from the Research Center for Marine and Fisheries, so the economics, and then WMP also from the University Andalas. Nur Alim from the University Negeri Malang, Nizamik Asli from the Institute of Tropical Aquaculture and Fisheries, University Malaysia, and Retno from the Balai Besar Wirid Sosial Ekonomi Kelautan and then Perikanan, and then the last one is Muhammad Adli Abdullah is from the Faculty of Law, University Syah Kuala. So we have to use this time meaningful. So I would like to invite Desi Novita to present. You have 10 minutes. You know, you have 10 minutes to present. Please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Badu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can I share my presentation or co-host?
Go ahead.
I will share your presentation, Mrs.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Thank you, everybody. Good evening, and honorable of all participants. Let me introduce myself and my partner. I am Desi Novita. Yes. Hear me? Hello.
Yeah, you can continue, please.
Okay. Let me. I am Desi Novita from Universitas Islam Sumatera Utara, and my partner Teja Rinanda and Ilham Riyad from UNSTIE Graha Kirana. In this opportunity, I would like to present my paper. The title of my paper is Determination of Superior Agriculture Commodities in North Sumatra Province. The background of this research that the agriculture sector has an important role in the national economic. The role of the agriculture sector includes a source of food and industrial material, source of national income, next employment and capital accumulation, potential matter, and as function of conservation. The contribution of the agriculture sector in North Sumatra, that agriculture sector has become strategic parts of the people lives in North Sumatra. In addition, another important position is the high export value of agriculture commodities, 18.58%, the value of industrial export, which are most agriculture-based industries, and the agriculture sector is still where most of the people work. The contribution of agriculture sector in North Sumatra income is estimated to decrease every year. Organizing the city and build the village is the word of wisdom currently being carried by the North Sumatra Provincial government. The village development in question can not be spared that the direction of development in North Sumatra has prioritized the development of the agriculture sector to realize the foundation of a people economic that relies on the agriculture sector is its leading sector. So one of development priorities content in RPGMD for 2018 to 2023 is increasing competitiveness through the agrarian sector. The increasing in competitiveness, one of which is the right at the development of international standard agricultural areas with natural agricultural cultivation with location specification. So the problem of the agriculture sector is North Sumatra. Farmer exchange rates or NTP is still low. Agricultural production center are still spreading. Population pressure on food security in getting bigger. The farmer cropping pattern is still highest, and the inequality of rural development. The problem is caused by agriculture development planning that has not been fully developed based on superior commodity produce in each region. Development planning must be based on local potential that is able to encourage production economic activity. And so my research purpose, one, to determine the role of the agricultural sector in the economic in North Sumatra province, and two, to find out which commodities in the agriculture sector are the superior commodities in North Sumatra. My research method, this research was conducted in North Sumatra province. The data used in the research is secondary data from 2016 to 2020. The data used is data on production of agriculture production at the provincial and national. Production data for 51 agriculture commodity, and the analytical method use SLK and DLK, statistic location question, and the dynamic location question. And in my research, there is 3 steps to determine the superior commodity. One, calculate the SLK index, and step 2, the calculate the LK index, and step 3, combined with SLK and DLK index. This is classification of commodity criteria based on the combined value of SLK and DLK. If SLK bigger 1 and DLK bigger 1, superior commodity. Kemudian next maintain commodity, SLK smaller 1 and DLK bigger ones. Three category classification, DLK smaller 1 and SLK bigger 1 prospective commodity, and SLK smaller 1 and DLK smaller 1 under development commodity. And my research, the agriculture sector in the mainstay, if the mainstay sector as a contribution to GRDP, and also as the sector that absorbs the most labor compared to other sector. Based on Badan Pusat Statistik data, the agriculture sector is still highest sector contribution to GRDP in North Sumatra, although it has decreased. The agriculture sector contributes to GRDP around 20 and 22% over the last 5 years. Meanwhile, the growth rate of the agriculture sector in a period is still lower than the general GDP growth rate. The growth rate of the agriculture sector show an increasing every year, especially when the COVID-19 pandemic occurred. It was seen the agriculture sector in North Sumatra province grow by 1.95%, while the level of the economic in general decreasing by minus 1.07%. This condition show that the agriculture sector in North Sumatra province is a priority in regional economic development. For the determination of superior commodities in the agriculture sector in North Sumatra, step 1, with calculate statistic LQ analysis based on the result of the SLK calculation in ISNO. There are 20 agriculture commodities that have SLK value bigger ones. This means that these 20 agriculture commodities have a comparative advantage compared to other agriculture commodity in North Sumatra province. Agriculture sector commodities that are classified as basic commodities or have a comparative advantage because they have an average value of SLK bigger one. Step 2, which calculates LK dynamic value. The dynamic LK calculation is development of the SLK calculation. The LK is the LK analysis from a time series or trend. There are 8 agriculture sector commodities that fall into the basic commodities category. These commodities include red chili, tomatoes, cabbage, durian, eggplant, fishing, and rubber and salak. So next, step 3, combine statistic LQ and dynamic LQ analysis research based on the calculates for the 4 categories are superior commodities, mainstay commodities, prospective commodities, and other development commodities. There are X commodities, superior commodities include red chili, cabbage.
Pardon, Mrs. Desi, your time is less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Eggplant, durian, snake fruit, and rubber, fishing. So my conclusion: the agriculture sector provides the large contribution to the formation of the GRDP structure in the economic of North Sumatra province, with a declining contribution every year. The agriculture sector was able to survive and grow amid the COVID-19 pandemic that's occurred. Commodities in the agriculture sector, which are the leading commodities in the provinces, include egg commodity, red chili, cabbage, tomato, eggplant, durian, salak, rubber, and fishing. Thank you. I think this is my presentation for today, and I say thank you for all of you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Desi Novita. So we can continue now to Dr. Asbas Taurusman from the IPB University with the Social, Economic, and Institutional Study of Ocean Fisheries based on the ecosystem approach in Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port, Banda Aceh. Time now for you.
Okay, thanks for Mr. Muhammad. I will to send for Mr. Asbas to tell our research. Okay.
For a minute, Ms. Rika, I will share the PPT in a minute.
Okay. Okay.
We apologize because we don't have a time to question and answer this time because we have limited time. So I apologize for the in the help of the name of the committee. And for mine, the committee that Mr. Wempi want to be co-host. I think so please, Mr. Wempi want to question and answer in chat. I think yes, you can chat directly the someone, maybe the present this is today. Okay, go ahead, Salmarika.
Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start, I will say thank you for Mr. Muhammad Nasir Badu as moderator today that give me the opportunities to stand here. And next. Now I will, I'm Salmarika from Syiah University, and the other author are Asbas Taurusman and Sugeng Hariwisodo from IPB University and Muhammad Ilham from Syiah University. Now I will like to present our study that title Social, Economic, and Institutional Study of Ocean Fisheries based on the ecosystem approach in Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port, Banda Aceh. Next. Next. The background from this study is as we know that Aceh province has one of the largest fishing port as a fishery center, namely the Kutaraja Fishing Port. The dominant fishing gear based on the Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port is percent. The number of percent from 2013 to 2018 has increasing in line with the increase in fishing effort for years, and the high number of percent fleet in Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port caused the decrease the proportion of catch per vessel, and as the result, there is competition among fishers to increase the catch as much as possible, and the competition between among fishers to increase the catch, maybe competition between fishers generally cause conflict and increase the number of lawlessness related to fishing activity, and on the other hand, and increased fishing intensities impact the abundance of catch in Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port, and it will also affect the price of fish. And the application of economic and social aspect of percent fisheries relate to each other. So efforts are needed to keep these two aspects in balance. The balancing of economic and social cannot be separate from the role of stakeholder as manager. And one of the fisheries management model is EIFM, or ecosystem approach to fisheries management. And the ecosystem approach aims to manage fisheries sustainability by balancing ecosystem well-being, human well-being, harmonized governance, and we are interested to study the management of percent study. Next. And this result was conducted on the Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port in Aceh province from September to October 2018, and data collected by direct survey, interview, distribution questionnaires, and literature study. And next, data analysis consists to state, namely identifying and assessing each indicator. Identifying indicator was conducted on social, economic, and institutional domain. And then the assessment of AFM domain and indicator was conducted by MCA, or multi-criteria analysis approach, with the developing of composite index using Likert scale 1, 2, 3, and the composite value is visualized by the flag model. And next. Okay. And result in the study, as you can see at the table, the composite value of the economic domain, which has 33.33, and means that it is included in the 4 category. And the second, the composite value of social domain often is 91.66, which is interpreted that the social management of fisheries include in the excellent category. And I think this condition is very supportive to realize fisheries management can be run properly. And the last, the composite value for the institutional domain is 67.77, which is included in the good category. And based on the result, management recommendation for percent fisheries is to implement of profit sharing system by applicable regulation, so that the fishermen income ensure the welfare of fisher. And then the action that
sorry, Mrs. Marika, your time is less than 1 minute.
Okay. Action that need to be taken are strengthening good cooperation between stakeholders to increase synergy in managing fisheries together, with like co-management, socialization regarding the importance of open Panglima customary rule, so that the local knowledge can be useful for management, especially the percent fisheries at the Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port. I think that's all I have to say about. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, the presenters. So we can move now to Rani Hafsar Devi. This is from the Research Center for Marine and Fisheries Socioeconomics, and then the title is Study on the Seaweed Farming Community Resilience of Pandeglang. Time is yours. Hello. And about the Rani of Sari Devi, isn't here? She's in here. If not, maybe you can move to Wempi Yuliani, maybe from the University Andalas. Okay, Wempi Yuliani will talk about the community-based tourism in Nagari Lawang, West Sumatra, participation approach analysis. I think time is yours. Wempi. So
okay. Okay, thank you, Pak. May I share my presentation, Pak Badu?
Yeah,
Okay.
The operator will help you.
Yes, for a minute, Mr. Wempi.
Sorry, I try my own. I try my own. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Can I share my own because there is some revision for.
Give him a co-host.
Okay. Yeah, can I have by myself? Okay. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For the time today's this time I will try to explain about my research, our research with Ibu Vivi and Pak Muhammad Soleh. I am from Andalas University, Faculty of Economics. Ibu Vivi from Balitbangda, West Sumatra Province, and Pak Muhammad Soleh from Trunojoyo University of Madura. My research is about community-based tourism in Nagari Lawang, West Sumatra. I use participation approach analysis for this research. This is where you can see the Danau Maninjau. Lawang is in the top of Danau Maninjau, so you can see the view of Danau Maninjau from Lawang village or Nagari Lawang. So this is the outline of my presentation today. I start with the background, why I choose tourism, and this is it is not traditional tourism, but it is community-based tourism because West Sumatra has the second highest growth sector in West Sumatra. And then community-based tourism become more equal for economy, become more responsible and sustain and so on. And why I choose Lawang, because Lawang is the very well-known tourism site in West Sumatra, but it used to have CBT. It has also two tourist objects there, which is owned by private, Lawang Park and also Puncak Lawang. But what I want to share in this forum, that it is not a success story of CBT Lawang, but it is a failure story of CBT Lawang, that we can learn what happened with the CBT Lawang or community-based tourism in Nagari Lawang. This is the research question, and my methodology. Our methodology is qualitative descriptive, and the data, we gather the data from interview, focus group discussion, questionnaire observation, and I use participation analysis from Unstein and CBT tourism development process by ETSACO to categorize or to determine in what category is the CBT Lawang. So this is the literature review. From literature review, I found that some problem related to CBTs, human resources, the cooperation with private sector, the government support, and also the connection between economic, social, and participation. That's mostly the problem with the CBT. So the CBT, it is good in theory, but rather difficult in practice. So this is I will discuss more about the participation approach or participation analysis from CBT Lawang. This is from Ansen and Okazaki. determine the level of participation from non-participation to tokenism and degree of citizen power. And Lawang part, we will see that he plays in tokenism. We will see this is the second analysis is the Sato. From Sato, he categorized the development, the CBT development process into four category or four quadrant. One is the best, higher economy and higher social relation. The second quadrant, higher economy but less social relation. The Lawang, CBT Lawang, I believe that it will lie between quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. What is quadrant 4? Quadrant 4 is having a good social capital, but having a good social relation, but relatively low economic impact. I'll start with the Lawang history. It is held Lawang history held in 2012 as part of sub-district CBD, what we call Madani Agro Tourism Forum. And there also existency. So it is not only community-based, but also private-owned tourism, which is dominated in that area. We name it Lawang Pat and Puncak Lawang. So they're private-owned tourist, community-based tourists, and also government, local government owned tourist site. And then continue. It is driven. So this CBT was driven by local champion, which is owned of the Lawang Pat, but he is not inactive in 2014. And in the past, this CBT become very active. But Lawang also famous for local product, which we call Tabu Lawang, and also home industry. This is the indication, the situation. Then the participation is very high, but they cannot do execution. So the implementation is very low. That's the problem of the participation in Lawang. And if we go into understand categorization, that this CBT Lawang will go to the second level of participation, high participation, but poor in implementation. And for Sato CBT development process, CBT Lawang lies between quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. In the time being, I believe he is in the quadrant 4 because it has good social relation, but relatively low impact from the economic. But I have some doubt about this. It could be in quadrant 2, while it is low social relation, but maybe high impact for the economy. And then based on SWOT analysis, then I have the strength and the weakness from the CBT Lawang. And we have Lawang as a tourist object, as tourist destination, has a very complex.
Wendy,
Yes?
I beg your pardon, your time is less than 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Let me talk about the weakness. It very depend on the local champion, and there is lack of organization and also human resources. And CBT Lawang, as a conclusion, it first depend much on local champions, and there is unclear position in Lawang tourism, because is it as a main or it is as a supporting tourist site, and also good social capital, bright. And my recommendation is continuous improvement for organization and human resource, and also the categorization. Be aware of fake participation that mentioned in tokenism, and local government intervention to place the CBT Lawang position in Lawang tourism and support administratively and technically. And the main tourist object should be regulated and give support to CBT eksistensi. That's for my presentation. Thank you very much for time, Pak Padu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. WMP, for your presentation. So I think, according the moderator, we accommodate question and answer after every 3 participants, right? Co-host? We can
Correct, Mr. Badu. But I think it will be limited only one question per participant because the time is very limited. Thank you.
Okay, maybe anyone want to question? So please. If not, we can continue to another presenter.
Okay, Mr. Badu, I want for second presenter.
Excuse me? Sorry.
I want to ask for second presenter. Okay, hear me?
Sure.
Okay, I want to know why the value of the fisherman income is categorized as pure tadi 33 percent gitu ya. Terus how much is your monthly income-nya?
Okay.
Thank you. And what's the recommendation will be given to increase fisherman income? Thank you, Mr. Badu.
Thank you very much. So go ahead from the IPB University. Hello? Salmarika, please you answer the questions. Salmarika?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
The income of fishermen in Kutaraja Ocean Fishing Port based on profit sharing. Profit sharing is 1 million for ABK. And when I'm survey to the location, and I find the profit sharing that fishermen use is not based on the based on state in law, namely 16 per 40%. So that the first fisherman in there is not the profit sharing can be well like that. Okay. Can you?
Thank you very much for your answer.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We can continue now to another presenter. We would like to invite Nur Anita Yunikawati. Is from Universitas Negeri Malang, and then the title is Tourism Revival Strategy during COVID-19 Pandemic, a case study in the Kemerian Traditional Village, Indonesia. Go ahead. Nur Anita Yunikawati, you can leave for presentation. One more, Nur Anita Yunikawati, I call you for presentation. Okay, we can continue now to Nizalmi Azani, Institute of Tropical Aquaculture and Fisheries, University Malaysia, Terengganu. And then his title about the survival, reproduction, and generation time of freshwater zooplankton on different enrichment and its potential use in freshwater aquaculture. Please.
Thank you. Can I share my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, you can see my screen right now. Okay. All right. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to moderators, members, the professors, doctors, and all participants here. I am Nizalmi Azani from University Malaysia Terengganu. Today, I would like to present a research study entitled Survival, Reproduction, and Generation Time of Freshwater Zooplankton on Different Enrichment and its Potential Use in Rearing Pangasius nasutus laveae, which is another one is aquaculture study. So, zooplankton is an extremely valuable resource for all planktivorous fish throughout their entire life. And the adequate and appropriate management of larvae rearing totally depend on natural feed and optimum water quality in hatchery. Actually, live feed is a microscopic organism that act as a major role in aquatic food web or food chain. And it also contribute for the survival rate for the zooplankton. And we know that the fish larvae is a picky eater. That's why zooplankton is a more suitable feed that can we give to them. Hence, zooplankton also easily can be digested and it enriched in biochemical content. So in this study, I choose Cereodaphnia in order Cladocera because this Cladocera is the most important food component in freshwater aquaculture and most valuable for feeding larvae. It has small scale compared to Moina and Daphnia. Cereodaphnia also found throughout all pond and lake and considerable to replace Artemia and Rotifer in industry. According to Begum 2013, several types of food media can be used to for intensive culture in hatchery by using this Cladocera. Other than that, Farhadian 2012 also reported that the Cladocera have high reproduction rate, can tolerate to wide range of temperature and able to grow on phytoplankton and organic waste. And this species is an excellent zooplankton for cultivable fish and crustacean larvae in freshwater. So in this study, I also choose Pangasius nasutus larvae because it is a potential Pangasius catfish species to be cultured in Malaysia. It is an excellent food with white fine grain and sweet flesh. But this species still depend on catch from the wild. This species accept a wide range of diet, and this species also quite hard and resistant to disease. Other than that, this larvae also get the nutritional fully from zooplankton in their larvae stages. Hence, that's why we need to use zooplankton for this fish in the larvae stages. So usually, in industry, they use Rotifer and Artemia for raising the larvae. So in this study, we want to prove that the utilization of the Cladocera also can beat the growth and survival for this fish. So enrichment technique also is the important things to do when we want to boost their survival and growth. Actually, there are a lot of food, including phytoplankton and organic-based product that can be fed to zooplankton for enhancing their nutritional. Why we enrich? It is because zooplankton do not supply sufficient nutrient for larvae development. By the enrichment, zooplankton can improve the value and efficiency of aquatic species in hatchery condition. So the nutritional value of Cladocera can be boosted by this enrichment throughout the provision and diverse culture media as established for Artemia and Rotifer in industry. So by using the enrichment, we can reduce the cost because nowadays artificial feed actually are very expensive. So for the experimental design, we sampling the Cladocera at Kenya Lake located at Terengganu, Malaysia. And then we sampling the Cladocera by using horizontal plankton net. Then we collect all the Cereodaphnia and we do the batch culture. After that, we brought to the UMT and we do the mass culture. Hence, we will allocate the Cereodaphnia into 5 tanks with a different enrichment after they have a mass culture. And the first experiment will be done where we need to quantify the life table parameter. And then after that, we do the second experiment where we enrich the zooplankton for about 6 hours and we fed to Pangasius nasutus larvae. So the enrichment type for this experiment consists of 5, which is E1, rice bran, E2, soybean meal, E3, Chlorella vulgaris, E4, spirulina, and E5 is control, which is no enrichment given. And this enrichment will be done according to the Pare and Wang study, which is 5 milligram per liter for organic base and 6 times 10 the power of 7 algae cells for microalgae. And we will enrich, which is about 6 hours before we give to the Pangasius nasutus larvae. So for the first experiment, we want to know the life table parameter, which is we want to know the age of maturation, longevity, gross reproduction, net reproduction rate, generation time, and intrinsic rate. And for the second experiment, after we fed to the Pangasius nasutus labe, we want to know the growth performance of this fish. And the growth performance we calculate by using the equation according to the Trong-Prajukau and Ferroskin study. So for the result, the survival rate of Cereodaphnia for the mono survival rate, which is the highest survival rate of Cereodaphnia, occur when enriched with E1, which is rice bran, while the lowest survival rate occur when no enrichment given, which is at control. And as you can see at the figure 2, the highest survival rate Cereodaphnia occur when enriched with E1 mixed with E3, which is we want to mix the microalgae and organic base, and then followed by E3 plus E4, which is mixed microalgae only, because we mix the chlorella and spirulina. And then for the life history parameter, for the initial reproduction rate, the mono and mixed enrichment are significantly influenced. And then the female Cereodaphnia reproduce after enriched with E1 compared to E4 and control. And subsequently, Cereodaphnia were enriched with E2 and E3, which is soybean meal and chlorella, also have a shorter reproduction rate. And mixed
Beg your pardon, Mr. Nizami, your time is less than 2 minutes. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so the quality of the food available to zooplankton are the most critical element to determine reproduction performance. Zooplankton have a benefit for high reproduction rate, wide range of environmental tolerance, and opportunity to survive on phytoplankton and organic waste. So Gilloy and Dawson already state that the positive correlation between the time and generation and initial egg reproduction is a variety for Cladocera species. And this statement were accepted by Damayanti and Mubarak, which is the increasing productivity and reducing reproduction by altering the quality and quantity of diet can further enhance the density of Cereodaphnia. And the outcome of this research revealed that the enrichment of Pangasius nasutus labe is the most important and has a sustained influence on their growth and survival. And organic-based meat with microalgae are excellent diet compared to mono, and as a food, microalgae are commonly used and excellent for zooplankton, but too pricey for large-scale use. And the conclusion for this study, we can conclude that the organic-based product mixed with microalgae is an excellent supplement media for development for Pangasius nasutus labe in hatchery condition. There are positive results shown in life history parameter and growth performance for Pangasius nasutus labe, where using Cereodaphnia that enriched with mixed diet. Other than that, additional research is needed to fully comprehend the use of organic-based product as enrichment in live feed to achieve excellent quality. And it also allowed the future implementation of various supplement formula for live feed in hatchery to ensure the continued production of fish larvae, especially proved by my study, which is on Pangasius nasutus labe. This is my reference. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Nizami, for your presentation. I think this is a lot of information we gathered from you. So we move now to another presenter. So we would like to invite Retno Widyastuti from the Balai Besar Riset Sosial Ekonomi Kelautan dan Perikanan, and then you want to talk about the institutional strengthening in supporting aquaculture business development in Magelang Regency. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm sorry, I have to off my camera. I already sent my PowerPoint. May I open this my PowerPoint, please? I already sent to chat room.
Chat room?
Yes, yes. Because it is the new my revise.
Okay. Co-host, please help me to show the PowerPoint of the presenter.
We are sorry, but we couldn't see the link in the chat room. Could you please send it for one more time?
Oh, okay. Maybe I send to everyone, right? Sorry, to be a long time.
It's okay, no problem, because we have a little bit additional time, you know, because presenter didn't present the presentation today.
Yes. I think I have to present about 3 p.m.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Send successfully. Or can you open this file, Miss?
Wait a minute, co-host will handle.
Yes.
For a minute, it needs to be downloaded first.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, okay, no problem. Okay, so go.
Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening. Allow me, Ratnawidi Hastuti, to present the research of our research with the title Institutional Strengthening in Supporting Aquaculture Business Development in Magelang Regency. And I wrote this paper with my colleagues, among others, Mrs. Hikmah and Mrs. Shinta Nurwijayanti. We are from Research Center for Marine and Fisheries Socioeconomics in North Jakarta, Indonesia. Well, this this research is motivated to next, please, for the background. Yes, the background that the fish village business segmentation in Magelang Regency consists of hatcheries, nurseries, rearing, which interact with each other and end up in marketing activities are fish depot, rearing, which to consumers. And the interaction that occurs in the hatchery segment between cultivators and fish depots as well as marketers is the purchase of tilapia bird stock size 4 until 5 taels per kilogram and the price of 30,000 rupiah per kilogram. And from the research of the hatchery produce a larva aged 2 weeks and after hatching, and the selling price of larva at the hatchery level is 10 rupees per tail. It is just a background, and for the consumption size tilapia is then marketed both to consumers in Magelang Regency and consumers outside Magelang Regency. And the consumers in question are resorts, restaurants, and households. The price of fish at the consumer level ranges ranges from 30,000 until 35,000 rupiahs, with a preference for red tilapia. So high preference of there is for red tilapia. And some tilapia is not only sold as consumption for protein fulfillment, but is also used as a new breeder in the hatchery segment. And in general, there is no business relationship between cultivators and traders, which is detrimental to one party. And the price is formed because there is an agreement between the two parties by taking into account the costs incurred by each. And however, in this research, there is a business relationship based on a sense of comfort in doing business with the some cultivator of or trader. And this is because there is a bad taste, a sense of having agreed to sell to certain traders because of the privileges received by cultivators during the fish harvest or flood of fish in the market. Cultivators who have ties first prioritize the fish taken by traders because they are already customer, and this is for the background. And please next. Next please, for the next slide. Yes, for the purpose, this is the data from this metric is stored as this purpose, yes. And this research aims to analyze the institutional function of the farming community in encouraging business development. And the research was conducted in 2021 in Magelang Regency. And the research allocation has a low level of household as the data from this metric is supported number 6. Okay, it is just namely for 14.44 kilogram per capita. Thank you. This next slide, please. For the methodology and the collection technique, the collection technique was carried out through observation and interviews in the form of questionnaires, FGD, focus group discussion, and interviews with key informants. And primary data that describe the existing conditions. I mean, of fishery management, especially the institution aspect. And for the data collection, for the analysis of business institution covering the main players, processing industry, as well as distribution and marketing. And data analysis use describe qualitative analysis aimed at answering what institution will be developed and who is included in this institution and when this institution were developed. And next slide, please. Yes, this is for the research, and the result of the research or study showed that up to 16 respondents up to now have not been able to access aquaculture assistance, and one of which is aquaculture technology that is currently needed to encourage fish village business development program. And we offer the concept of fishery aquaculture business institutional model. Maybe for the next slide, please. Yes. Sorry, it is still in Indonesia. Maybe I will illustration because I have just a short time to use this PowerPoint. And in the context of developing fish village, the aquaculture community value chain management business model integrates the aquaculture commodity supply chain as primary activity with supporting activities within the value chain environment. And primary activities are the main activities directly involved in the production, processing, and distribution of products. And in this activity, market and financial information plays an important role in the movement of aquaculture products as factors that explain when, where, how, and how much is produced. And so the smooth flow of market and financial information is an important element in the efficiency of supply chain activities and has the potential to control demand and marketing, especially in terms of transportation and storage. And supporting activities are activities that are indirectly involved in the manufacture and movement of aquaculture commodity products and have an important impact on the efficiency of production and distribution. And the supporting activities function as support for the value chain environment consisting of policies, rules, and regulations, development of infrastructure facilities, research and technology, and public services is very, very vital, as well as socioeconomic and cultural consideration. And maybe we have a recommendation, and I put I entered two conclusion. Maybe next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a recommendation about strategy mapping for business development of fish village in Magelang Regency. And in comparing the concept of a business model and institutional aquaculture village using analysis using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements such as key partners, key activities, value proposition, customer relations, and customer segment. Key partners in the tilapia village business in Magelang Regency include the people's breeding unit, nursery breeders, fish or basket traders, feed selling agents, and financial institutions. This institution is a business partner, each of which benefits from the business of tilapia cultivation in Magelang Regency. Meanwhile, the extension agency is a partner in providing technical information, facilitating various programs for fish farming in Magelang Regency. And for about key activities that running in the fish village business in Magelang Regency is the cultivation of...
We are sorry, Mrs. Desi and Mrs. Retno, your time is less than 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, it is okay. Cultivation activity to meet market needs 12 tons per year per cultivator. Value proposition. The value proposition will attract buyers to the products and services offered by a company so that it can meet customer satisfaction. And the value proposition, customer relation, okay, for the type of relation between the farmer and the customer in this case is a trader of or basket in the city where trust has been established between the two parties. The type relationship used is a dedicated personal assistant. Relationship or customer with this type of relationship are carried out to be able to establish continuous cooperation and build trust between the two parties and this relationship. Maybe I already explain about customer segment or two. Okay, maybe that's all from my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Next slide, please. Yeah.
Something problem? So, course, I'm sorry, something problem? One, stop.
I guess there's no problem, sir. We could continue. Thank you.
Excuse me, what's going on?
No, it is the last participant to present the presentation from Muhammad Adli Abdullah, I guess.
Okay, we can continue to the last. Today we would like to invite Muhammad Adli Abdullah from Faculty of Law, University of Kuala Suala, Banda Aceh, and then he will talk about the adat laut adaptation for sustainable fisheries development in Aceh province. Time is yours. Wow. You don't get the response from the Mr. Abdullah. So what you have to do now, and maybe you can open question and answer.
Sure, Mr. Badu. I think it is better to open a general question and answer.
Yes. Okay, we would like to invite all of you to question and answer session. So go ahead.
Sorry, Mr. Badu. I think your microphone is on mute.
Okay. No question and answer. I think this is enough today.
Please.
Thank you much for your participation. All of you speakers will appreciate. I think I will give the co-host to the next agenda. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and then good afternoon.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Badu. I guess there is a question from Mrs. Retno.
Yes.
Mrs. Retno.
Yes.
Please.
Okay, thank you, sis. Excuse me, Mr. Muhammad, I have to join my examination first. So you write down your question, please, because I have to join my examination to my campus.
So co-host, please, you take this is
Miss co-host, please read my message in chat room, please.
For sure, please. I will write down your question. I guess there is no question from the audience. We'll wait for the host to let us join the main room. Or the participant could leave the break room and will be automatically direct to the main room.
The committee, can I ask you something? Because what you have to do in here? Why is stuck in this the second room? Guys, excuse me, the co-host, I'm sorry. I would like to ask you what I have to do now.
Yes, you could leave this meeting room and join another room, or you could leave this room and directly join the main room.
Okay, thank you very much for your information, because I lost from you.
You're very welcome, Mr. Badu.